To create a pivot table from an existing table, let's use the Pivot Table button on the Insert ribbon. Excel will prompt us for the basic details and then create the pivot table for us. Let's start by opening the Race Results workbook. We'll go to the Microsoft Office button, choose Open, and then choose Pivot Race Results. Then we'll start by clicking anywhere in our table area. Now we'll click the Pivot Table button on the Insert ribbon. We'll verify the range in which our data is located is already specified in the Select a Table or Range field. Next, we'll verify where we want the pivot table report to be placed. We'll place it in a new worksheet. And now we'll click OK to close the Pivot Table dialog box and create a pivot table page. Now that we have our pivot table on the left, we'll use the pivot table field list on the right to select which fields appear in our pivot table and how those fields appear. In our Race Results workbook, we have a couple hundred participants from various states and age groups. First, we'll view the participants by state and then by gender. We'll do this by dragging the state field into the Row Labels area. In the pivot table field list, we'll click on State and drag it down to the section that says Row Labels. Now we'll notice that all the states are displayed in our row label section of the pivot table. Next, we'll drag the gender field to the row area beneath the state field. Click on Gender, drag it beneath the word State. Now, within each state, we see each gender represented in that state. We'll want to count the participants by gender from each state. So we'll grab the gender field and move it also to the Values section. Because the gender field does not contain values, Excel assumes we want to perform a count on this field. You'll notice that while we're rearranging the pivot table window, Excel is automatically calculating the changes and formatting our pivot table. Now let's move the gender field above the state field. When we do that, now our data is arranged first by gender and then by state. Pivot tables allow complete flexibility without having to keep rearranging our data table. Explore the pivot table feature more on your own to understand how it can help you more in analyzing your type of data.
At Hand Solutions provides individual online training, certification, and skill building to keep your job, get a better one, or find a new one with access to experts when and where you need them. Get started today with free access at handsolutions.com.